You actually get to see people who have gone down in the depths of their life.
When I was in class 2, I first have my taste of fentanyl.
मेरा नाम महेश है, मैं 10 साल का हूँ। मैं ना घर पे whitener पीता था।
When I was in standard 5, actually I test my first taste. I feel quite macho man.
I needed drugs for sleeping. I needed drugs to wake up. I needed drugs to have a meal. I needed drugs to vomit that meal. So now my whole life, everything was now revolving around drugs.
I was using smack, brown sugar.
I was using different kind of chemical like alcohol, spasmoproxyfen, parvenspas. Any drug that I get, I just use that.
I love reading, okay. So every night before going to bed, I used to read a book. And when I found that if I am drinking along with my this reading thing, I am enjoying the book more. So I started drinking every night because my habit was reading. With it, alcoholism came. And one day, I don't know, I was transformed into an alcoholic. I started drinking in the days also.
I do know that I started at a very young age. The first time I really got drunk was when I passed SSC.
I've been drinking for the last 13 years and I think I knew since the last 7 or 8 years that I did have a problem with alcohol.
I used to take injection Fortrin and I used to smoke cannabis, ganja. And I used to practically drink every day. And I finished my MBBS in '94 and I went back to Africa, Zambia. And that's where I started drinking more actually.
By profession, I'm a captain out at sea. I'm about 11 years now in command. But due to my drinking, just slowly, gradually, I've found that my drinking has become totally unmanageable.
I thought drugs was it. But then, my idea was, completely wrong.
When I become addicted, I started creating problems at home, in the society. I start stealing, extorting money from here and there.
We're talking about people who have no personal life, no family life, no professional life, no economic life. Their health is shattered and they probably are wanted by the police.
To get my chemical of choice, I used to steal, borrow, beg.
As an educated person, I was not able to do anything for my family and for myself.
Man of my structure, very thin, but with under the influence of drugs or alcohol, I'm a different man altogether.
The society also thinks that I'm a hopeless case, that this guy will not able to survive. This is gone case, he will die like one of his friends.
I lost my health, I lost my family, I lost my social standing, I lost my ability to think naturally, I lost the essence of life, to live. But I could not die because that urge to use kept me alive.
If we are social beings living in an organized society, what is the place for such a person? What's the role? What happens next?
That takes me back to 1971 when I went through a crisis. I would say it was a crisis of not only the priesthood, but it was a crisis of faith. And two people, I would say, bailed me out of that crisis. One was my spiritual director, Tony DeMello, and the other one was Mother Teresa. Mother Teresa prophetically said, "Don't leave, don't quit. Jesus needs you. It may take a long time, it may take even 10 years. I don't know why Mother used this 10 years, because exactly 10 years later, I started Kripa. as a vocation within a vocation.
Many danger, toils and snares we have already come. 'Twas grace that brought us safe thus far, and grace will lead us home.
Kripa Foundation's work showed me that there's an alternative. You can climb back into life.
Kripa, actually it means grace from the Sanskrit word. But for me, Kripa, from my own understanding, is that Kripa gave me a new life.
Kripa takes in everybody. Kripa uses everything. Kripa boosts you to go back to life.
The inspiration of Mother Teresa is that in life, you don't so much weigh life and your own personal life in terms of success and failure, but in terms of fidelity. In this program, we have realized that if you try to boast about having quit the drug, or if you are proud about it, you fall. All that you have to be aware of is that I must be faithful to this program, faithful to the Lord. And this I got from Mother Teresa, and we have, in that sense, been able to give people the infrastructure, psycho-spiritual, psychosocial, and thanks to my Guruji B.K.S. Iyengar, psychosomatic components, to be faithful, one day at a time, one moment at a time.
Today, after quitting drugs, my life has become from a minus point to a plus point.
Through Kripa, I got clean. I got a life beyond addiction.
Today, from nobody, today I've become the chief manager of Kripa Foundation. And under me, there are seven program managers and lots of outreach workers and counselors and doctors and so on, nurses and so on.
At the moment, I'm the program manager of Kripa Jail Project, looking after the prison inmates of Kohima District Jail. We are supposed to look after the prison inmates to intervene the transmission of HIV/AIDS, and also to help those drug users who have abscess cases to dress their wounds, and also to refer them to rehab centers.
Kripa model of recovery is basically a blend of the East and the West. The West gave us the technology of transformation, mainly through the 12-step program. But in the 12-step program, there are references to spirituality, not religion, but spirituality. And India being a land of spirituality, we have integrated the elements of deep spiritual living through the body, using the body as a temple of God's Spirit, and learning to love the body back to life. We also love the whole person back to life.
I had the kind of knowledge that everybody has about God. You see, maybe God exists, maybe God doesn't exist, this kind of knowledge. When I went to Kripa, I never knew about Kripa. When I came out of Kripa, I'm a definite believer in God now. In Kripa there is God, there has to be.
Come what may, this is a gift which Kripa has given me by the grace of God, which I am not willing to lose at any cost.
I'm very grateful to the higher power. I'm Catholic by faith, and it's Jesus, that I could be instrumental in leading the way to at least 2,097 people that have walked in from Kripa over here. And the greatest joy is to see them, that when they come with pain, crying, brokenness, not talking to each other, the families. And after they go back and they come back for a renewal, you can see them coming to walking this pathway hand in hand, smiling. And I think that is the biggest gift, or the biggest tip that I ever had in my whole life.
From 91 onwards, we realized that there is a huge sociological burden because of HIV. as Kripa Foundation, we are dealing with groups of people who have increased risk for HIV transmission. So if we don't include them as part of our care, one, we'll miss them, two, we'll increase the potential chance of transmissions, and three, we would have done nothing towards curtailing the epidemic. So caring for HIV had to be inclusive to the work of Kripa in substance abuse.
When we've been here 10,000 years, bright shining as the sun, we've no less days to sing God's praise than when we first began.
We are already playing a big role both in the western region and in the northeastern region. And we are being called now to the other parts of the country. And this is where I see that our addiction will have to go hand in hand with the results of addiction, which is HIV/AIDS.
Through the Nagaland State's AIDS Control Society, they have given us a project on targeted intervention. So this targeted intervention, we have several drop-in centers. The drop-in center basically is a place where any addicted person could go, feel comfortable to go. And he is accepted unconditionally as he is, with no judgmental attitude. I think that makes them feel very good.
I can see that we are being called now in a very big way to contribute to the change of lifestyle of people. And so we are almost visualizing a whole family of friends of Kripa all over the world that will both prevent behavior that will lead to addictive living and behavior that will lead to major ailments like HIV/AIDS, but above all, reconnect with the deep spiritual values and family.
The Kripa model is super.
Here in Kripa, the emphasis is on life. And there's a Sanskrit proverb which says that, look to this day for it is life. The emphasis is on the word life.
Kripa rescued me from the horrors of drug addiction.
But today when I go back at home, I have my self-worth. I can see my wife waiting for me, my children waiting for me. They're just waiting to say, hey daddy, come on here, let's go out for a dinner tonight.
Kripa to me is my alma mater, let me put it that way. It's my mother institution.
It means grace, but for me it would be something that gives you one chance, a second chance at life.
Kripa has transformed my life as from a hopeless case, from helpless case to a man who I am today.
When you are given a life, you know, it can be compared to my life.
I was a person who thought who will never come into recovery, a person who will die of drugs. That was my thinking in my addiction. But after coming to Kripa, I would really say it was God's grace that through Kripa I got clean. I got a life beyond addiction.
I accept that God has made me an addict to learn my life the hard way so that I can become something in my life to be a sort of a good role model for my fellow friends also.
It's given me a purpose today. It's given me a reason to get up early in the morning, look into the mirror and look at myself and say, well done Rajiv, you are doing fine.